Hi everyone. In this video, we will explore how to package our MCP code in the form of a Docker and then launch an MCP server via Docker. Right. So Docker is very important way or a nice way to package our MCP code so that it can run anywhere independent of the platform. Right. So all the advantage of Docker that we can get it. So that's what this video is all about. And what in the last video we created an NGS QC MCP server. So now in this video we will take the same one and package into a Docker, and we will see how to run it. Okay. So yeah, let's begin. So the idea is like using first MCP, you create an MCP server, and in this case we will build NGS QC MCP server, which will be having some tools. Okay, this is already we have seen it. So now we take the code and package it in the Docker file, and then launch the server via Docker. So basically we'll install the Docker locally, and then we'll using Docker run we will launch a Docker, and so now it will get the same host file, the URL we get, and now we take that into configure in the cloud desktop the same way what we had did before. Okay, that's how the main idea is all about. Okay, and if you go to my GitHub repository, this will be there in the this page, server is Docker. So basically go to readme file. So it says like what we are doing here, like we are using this file, and within the Docker only we have installed all the fast QC. But you see that in this uh, NGS analysis we need fast QC, and we had installed in our system, but not the same we can install in locally within the Docker, so that fast QC can run there inside the container. And yeah, so all the dependencies will be installed, and basically we'll create the build the Docker image, and we'll run the container, and we'll use our host system to the we'll create a mount point. We'll see that. So in short, this is the Docker file. Okay. So basically this from Python 3.1. Here you install Java, because Java we need for fast QC. So basically I'm installing OpenJDK 21 JRE here, and then I'm setting the environmental variable Java hook so that fast QC can find it. So now here I'm installing the fast QC. So it is downloading from this site, downloads, then extracts, and then make it executable, and then it will create a symbol link and it deletes the fast QC folder. Okay, now I'm creating in a working directory this app. So this is where the Docker will start when it will create. This is a working directory, and so when we copy this, right, so all the requirement.txt, that means all the packages that we need in this case to run MCP server, we need for now fast MCP. So you just create that fast MCP only in the requirement.txt file. Sorry for that. Okay, so yeah, so we got this requirement.txt, and then you are running pip install our requirement.txt. So basically all the requirement.txt, whatever is Python packages are there, those will be installed, and I'm copying the entire code to the app folder. That's why copy dot and into this one, and then this is where we are running the server. So by default, if you simply type docker run, basically we are launching an MCP server, first MCP run NGS QC MCP.py. I think this I'll have to change. I will see. And then the transport mode is HTTP mode, host is 0000, port is 8083. So this way you can pass a list of command arguments and package it into a Docker file. So we'll do that. Let's go over here in my this one. So already some servers are running. So let me in those running server. From the past video, these servers were running. Okay, so now let me go to this folder. Okay, so I'm going to, this is my GitHub repository, and I go to fifth folder here in this case. So now you can look into the Docker file. So here the Docker file, as I explained, it's all same. Only thing like here, yeah, I have the code is also NGS QC MCP.py, right? Okay, so yeah, so now what we will do, we will build the Docker image, right? So you can go to this folder. So I'm this folder only. So now I say sudo docker build, and I'm giving my -t. This is a tag, this is a Docker name, and this one. Okay, So it will ask for my password. So now it will install the Docker. Since I already installed it, so it ran very fast. So in short, my its Docker images are available. Okay, so this image is the Docker is available in this path. Okay, so in this name. So now what we did, we took our MCP server code and we put it inside the Docker, and at the same time we installed all the dependencies. So now our server has the MCP code and all the dependencies are there in that container. So now we will run it. So how we'll run? So we'll say sudo docker run, and here we are giving port 803.832 8083. Why this is needed? I'll tell you. So if you look at the Dockerfile, right? So it starts the what port we used 8083. So that means inside the container. So when we run this MCP server, the MCP server will run where? Inside the container, not in the host. It will run inside the container on 8083 port. So this is where we are mapping our this is the container port, this is the host 8083 port, that means the Windows host, to the Docker container host. So port to port mapping we are doing it. Okay, yeah, so we are mapping the Docker port with the host port. Okay, port. Then we have to mount because this file where my files everything are there, right? FastQC, FastQ file, those will not be available in the Docker, right? So that's what I'm giving a mount point. That so this mount point is now is same as the workdir mount point. And that's what I'm running it. So when I do this, what will happen? So the Docker will start, and when it starts, it will launch the server, and it will expose. It will run 8083, and that is available in my system. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, so cool. So now see, it is running on this this path 8083 port. Okay, and we will also see the 8083 port is also exposed here. So now my server is running here. So let's configure it. Okay, so now the MCP server will be available at this port, right? So now we'll just have to configure this cloud desktop. So I just copy this, and if you go to cloud and go to files and settings and go to developers, and already this server is running, so I just delete it. So go to edit config and this open this config file. So here let's paste it. So this time give the name NGS QC MCP underscore Docker and the npx command, and again the port is 8083 MCP. Okay, so just save this and close this one, and so let's go to the developer mode and reload the configuration. So now you see that MCP server is now the name got changed, and so it is initializing, and the command is npx, and it is calling MCP remote, and it is connecting to 8083, where my 8083 is running over here, right, which is running in the Docker, and that Docker port and this port is exposed, so indirectly it is running on my host. Okay, so now what we will do is we have configured, right? So we can go over here and go to developer mode and just check the log just to see if there are no issues anywhere. So you can see that from message from the server, and there are no errors and all, so that means we are good. And again, you can create a new chat. So you can first ask like what local MCP server you have. Okay, so now this is just to so now you see I have NGS QC MCP Docker, and it has same thing. Okay, so now can you run fast QC on? Okay, so but before that I need to have those files right with me. So let's see, I'm going here. Okay, so already I have the fast Q files over here, but now if you see this, I have mounted it this path I have mounted when I running the Docker, right? I have mounted it as a work dir. So I have to give the path like can you run fast QC on work dir slash this file. Okay, so this is the path, because I cannot give this path because this path is the host path, but so because since it is running inside the container, you have to give this path. Okay, container path. So let's see. So let's see. So it created this path here, and the work directory is the work directory it gives. So it will now run the first QC. So great, first QC has been successfully completed. So now it completed within the work directory, but at the same time it will be reflected because we have mounted it. So now you see we got the first QC results. Okay. So now we'll ask him to unzip. Okay. Sorry for my voice. So yeah. So it is we are just allowing. So it is now unzipping. So now it is automatically it will calculate, parse basic statistics. So it calculated the path easily as well, right? So last time, if you previous video, it actually lot of confusion was there. It was permission issues was there, but this time it was very smooth, and because of the Docker probably easily it could find it. So I'm just allowing all function to call. So now it says that first QC analysis is completed, and it will give me the same response what I got, like overall fail and QC module results. It gave me this one. Also it gives key findings over this. So now you see this is very deterministic output. So every time if I run it again, I might get a different kind of response as well. Okay, but overall it you can see that how we have hosted the Docker container. All we took our MCP server, put it inside a Docker file. We put it into our Docker file here, and give the command like how to run the server in HTTP mode, and then you just run the server, build the server, okay, Docker build, and then run the Docker build, and then run the server. It's simple as that. But only thing that is important, two things, like you have to map the port between host port versus the container port, and also you have to give the mount point so that a host file will be available in work directory. So with this, so now the advantage of making it Docker is that, so now I can take this, you can take this Docker file, you can run in on your system, and you host it and run it. So inside the Docker all the dependencies will be there, right? So that's why you can create MCP server within a Docker. So that's why it is more of applicable for the actual production. Now you can take this and configure with a AWS batch job. So and that batch job will let's say launch an EC2 instance, and within that EC2 instance this container will run, and that MCP server will start. And let's say you can have an parallelly within the batch job also one more, you can create a client to connect to that, and then you everything like the client server thing connection will happen, and you will get the output. So that is one way of, I'm just telling you. Or alternately you can have the Lambda function to start something as EC2 instance, and then download the Docker file from the ECR repository and launch it, and you can do n number of possibilities once you have the Docker, right? So yeah, that's what this video was all about. So I hope this video was useful to you. So in the next video we will do another interesting use case, that's single cell data analysis using ScanPy. So the way we did now NGS QC, right? So now we can use single cell data analysis using ScanPy tool, where we can ask the cloud desktop, our AI assistant. We build our MCP server, connect to the cloud desktop, and through cloud desktop we'll be able to do all our single cell data analysis easily. So that's what we will see in the next video. I hope this video was useful to you. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.